Hello guys, welcome back to 1878 Blues. In the past hour, the news has broke that Frank Lampard has left his position, well, been sacked by Everton Football Club. It's something that we've all expected, um, and quite sad about, to be honest. And it's again another cycle of shite at the club we're going to have to go through again, in terms of recruiting and a whole new identity again, and a whole new this is not my type of players situation. If there's any issues with the new manager coming in, all the stuff like that we've seen for the past 6 or 7 years. I like Lampard. I like him as a person, which you've been hearing quite a lot through everyone. He's a nice bloke. Um, he means well. He gets the fans, I think, from what he says. Um, but it's not good enough. And in terms of this club is a top flight club, and it has been for a number of years. I think the second most long and standing club in the top league of English football. I think Arsenal first, and we're too big to go down. There's a phrase there: no one's too big to go down, but this club's ginormous, and it's been a sleeping giant in many of years, and we've got to be ruthless in situations like this. We can't just accept mediocre football, the tactics, the results. It's not Everton Football Club, and even though it's not entirely Lampard's fault, he does have some responsibility with that. These players, to me, aren't good enough, but I don't think they should be in the relegation zone. You could easily say we've got a bad squad, but there's a lot of players here with experience. A lot of players have been successful in their careers, kind of. And when you look at other squads who, like Nottingham Forest, who have bought about 30 players, some of them haven't got a clue who they are, and they're performing well in the league. Now, you could all say, well, that proves that they're better than us, blah, blah, blah. But in many of seasons, we've had raving reviews of Decore. We've had raving reviews of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We've had raving reviews about Connor Cody and Tarkowski in their own rights and what they do for the clubs they play for. Pickford's England #1. Onana's the next big thing, apparently. Playing for Belgium, who are in their golden generation. He was playing for them at the World Cup, and he's breaking through their team, and just stuff like that. Like, we haven't got a great squad, and if you could give me a position where we should finish about 14th or 15th, we shouldn't be joint bottom of the league. It's a disgrace. Obviously, I just said before that Lampard it's not entirely his fault. It's, to me, it's getting to the point where I don't think a few players will fix this situation. I'm not saying we'll get relegated in a sense. I mean, from what we're looking at, we have every right to go down right now, but I know a few players can change things. Newcastle, for an example, they've still got a lot of players who have been playing there for a while. You could obviously give credit to the manager, Eddie Howe, but they changed a lot mid-season. They got rid of the owner. He sold up. Obviously brought the new owners in, which does help. Money does help, which they're not used to, but they spent it right on some good acquisitions, and it wasn't even just that as well. They got rid of the whole board. They changed everything, and it can be done. And it's getting to the point where I'm like, do I really want to change many players around and bring loads of players in, or would you rather change the whole board and get rid of the owner and get a new owner in? But obviously it's tough because of the whole stadium getting built and a lot of other factors. It's going to be quite a tough task to do that at this moment of time. again, I don't really want the board to make another appointment. I think Felwell, or however you say his name, should make the appointments himself. He hasn't been there long enough in terms of he's done. He's probably worked with Lampard with some of the signings we brought in, like McNeil and Mopay, and they haven't been good enough. But I don't know. I think I would give it to him to try and make a decision. Even though it should be a Managerial's job, which he said it's not. It should be Ken Wright's job, it's not. But at the same time, I don't even want them making another single big, appointment at this club. I don't want them to do anything other than leave, because they've done enough damage at this club anyway. They accept it, and they just keep going along by it. As long as they got money in their pocket, seems all right with them. If Graham Sharp has anything about him, he would leave the club. If Ken Wright has anything about him and actually supports the club, leave, please. Because bringing a new manager in now, who are you going to bring in? You're going to bring in Sean Dyche is another Allardyce appointment to me, which I don't have an issue with at this moment of time. Mike, we actually could do something like that and actually think properly of who could take charge of this club and take them forward. Give them that 6 months to actually sort it out, and hopefully Dyche will keep us up. But Dyche is not Allardyce to me. Allardyce has got... They're just two different managers. They're, bland in their footballing styles and tactics and whatnot, very old-fashioned, but Dyche hasn't got a proven record to just jump into a team and keep them up. Allardyce did, and I've always said Allardyce did a good job for us, and I think he got a lot of disrespect, because we was really bad that season. Not as bad as now, but we was really bad, and we had a very high chance of going down as well. So, Allardyce took us to 8th or 7th, which is incredible to where we was. And we need that kind of style again, because if you bring in someone like Bielsa would want months to implement his style. All of his sides he's worked with, he's ran them to the ground. There's been evidence of it. Players getting injured left, right and centre. This club's fitness levels, the players' fitness levels are horrendous at this club. You're getting teams like who we played recently, who have played 2 days before or something, like Southampton, and then they played City in the Cup, and about 2 or 3 days later, and we've had a week off to go and beat us 2-1 our own patch. So it's shocking. And the injury levels and record of this club in recent seasons haven't been great as well, so he would be a nightmare appointment to me. But obviously, if we're looking to keep a manager for us to go up from the Championship, then all by means hire him. But that's kind of defeating. That's just basically saying we're done. To me, Wayne Rooney, it's a tough one. He hasn't got the credentials again. It feels like another type of Lampard kind of appointment. One thing I can say is, though, I don't think he will accept what the board are doing. I think he will really voice it up. And I just think he will stamp his authority a lot more than Lampard. Like we said, Lampard's a nice guy. Might not always be the case. What we see in the dressing room, he could be brutal. You don't know what Lampard's like. But everything he comes across as, he's a nice guy, and what I see in his post-match interviews and whatnot, it just seems, he's a good talker and stuff, and he just kind of didn't really show his emotions too much, apart from we've seen one time when he had that argument with Klopp on the touchline, at his Chelsea days. So I don't know where we go from here. Do we take a risk and hire a manager who hasn't been in the Premier League before, like Brighton have done? Victor Pereira. I'm laughing, but I'm stressed. I'm stressed now, and it's getting to the point where at the same time I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't know where to go from here. You can just give me every name under the book who could change Everton, but in reality, it's a short-term solution. everything is because we can't seem to hold on to a manager for more than a year now. And while this board's in charge, nothing's going to change. It's the same with Newcastle. You know, nothing was going to change while Mike Ashley was there. Liverpool, in a sense, starting to derail, which is funny me saying that because we are massively worse than them. But in terms of their standards, you know, they're obviously having issues with their own at the moment, keeping his money in his pocket. But there's many reasons for that situation as well, which I understand why they don't just splash and splash and splash, because they've done it so well recently in their transfer, you know, in their transfer history in the past 5-6 years. They've been recruiting well and basically balancing the books every time, but that doesn't always last forever, and they might need to splash the cash, and that's obviously what their fans have got an issue with their board. But with us, it's been ongoing for ages. Ever since Managerial's come in, he's had Ronald Koeman, Allardyce, which to me still wasn't the worst thing, worst appointment in the world. Obviously, in terms of where we wanted to be, you know, but where we was at the time, it was the right appointment for me. But yeah, there's so many opinions on it. Yeah, he's hired a ridiculous amount of managers. Ancelotti didn't work, kind of did, but obviously just wasn't getting backed. Benitez, Marco Silva. We just had every sort of genre, if you could say, of managers out there, and nothing's worked. And it's ultimately the board. And I wouldn't be surprised from now to the end of the season there's going to be, you know, a change of ownership, a change of the whole board. Obviously now we're going to have the change of coaches as well. You know, Lampard's backroom staff are definitely going to leave, which probably to me isn't a bad thing, because I don't see any improvements on the pitch. I didn't see any improvements anywhere. I didn't see anything positive anywhere. I got all desperate with all the loan signings getting recorded. Everything was just an absolute mess, like it has been at this club for a very long time now. David Moyes, is he a possibility to come back? I mean, I think he's got away with the West Ham results on the weekend in terms of his job. I think it's just holding it off for a little bit longer, but I don't think he's got much time left there himself. I think it's gone a bit stale. But then why would it work at Everton if he comes back? Just because he's been here before and he had a reasonably successful time at us. I don't know. I really don't know. Well, what's your opinion, guys? You know, put in the comments. I would like to hear your opinions. I've heard a lot of opinions on Twitter, but directly your thoughts on what I've said, and it's really good to connect with you Blues. But to be honest with myself, I haven't got a clue what to do. I haven't got a clue how to feel. We know that Danjuma is coming in. It was Frank Lampard wanted him, but he's still coming. He is going to improve the attacking. I mean, I'm hoping he does. It gives us another option, another type of player. But we need a lot more than that, this club, and I don't really know where we go from here, but I'm hoping we get a new manager bounce and we just get out of the situation, and then this will be the most intense time at the club over the summer, or from now to the summer over to next season, to really have a idea of where this club's at, because I just don't think anyone has a clue. I really don't. But yeah, I'm out anyway. This went on longer than expected, but yeah. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all soon. I actually thought the Arsenal game was actually this weekend. By the way, it's not. It's next weekend, because we can't participate in the FA Cup because we're shite. But yeah, I'll see you all soon. Bye.